Hello everybody, and welcome to our weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition online role-playing adventures. We live stream our sessions every Friday evening. You can keep up with our adventures on YouTube, as well as catch weekly recaps on roguewatson.com. I am Chris, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined by our awesome players. Eric, playing Kazan, the half-elf warlock paladin.
I'll do the blinking meme.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty good. Hello, Eric.
Hello.
Heather playing Bryces, the tiefling sorcerer. Hello, Heather.
Hello.
Reese playing Tim, the warforged cleric fighter. Hello, Reese.
Did you know that Kansas City is the soccer capital of America? I didn't.
I didn't either. Live from Kansas City, Reese. For reasons.
It would have been really funny if you had just brought a soccer ball up and started spinning on your hands. Just to sell it.
Yeah. Rochelle playing Corinne, the blue dragonborn sorcerer. She is somewhere in Kansas City right now.
That is correct.
She'll be joining us later.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And Raymond playing Halfred, the halfling ranger. Hello, Raymond.
Hello.
We use Roll20.net for our tabletop campaign, Skype for video chat, and I am recording it all using Open Broadcaster software. Previously on Storm King's Thunder. In the aftermath of the fire giant battle, the party surveyed their surroundings. They found that the giants had taken Snigbat and his goblins as slaves, and were forcing them to dig up some large metallic object, which the party found was far too large and heavy to remove. So they did the next best thing, burying it under as much rubble as they could with a flurry of destructive spellcasting. They found Pylan's missing gold in a nearby chest and emptied its contents into the bag of holding for transport. They bid Snigbat goodbye, instructing him to head south into the forest, where the giant activity was lesser, and they headed back to Hawk's Nest. They returned Pylan's missing gold, and he invited them to dine with his family, where they entertained his daughter's questions about adventuring. The next morning, he was so taken with them that he offered them each a hippogriff mount. They happily accepted and made their way through the air back to Moongleam Tower in Everland. Crowan Valharrow appeared slightly jealous to hear of their generous gift, but was pleased with their success and honored their agreement to give them access to the teleportation network. The party stabled their hippogriffs in Everland and took the teleportation circle to Neverwinter. In Neverwinter, they first visited the estate of Zelron Roaringhorn, the wealthy ex-adventurer who was throwing a gala that very night to raise money for giant attack relief efforts. The party agreed to be his guests of honor, and they were given time to prepare, the ladies donning expensive, beautiful dresses and robes, the men keeping their armor adorned. At the party, Zelron introduced them ostentatiously to the gathered crowd in the feasting hall, then instructed them to mingle and make sure the guests were entertained. Corinne was approached by a shy man trying to solicit her into being his wingman with a silver dragonborn, only to turn out to be a creep with a filter of love and ill intentions, who she spoiled the plans of before returning to the party. Tim was approached by a woman wanting to dance, with Tim gyrating wildly while the woman attempted to get handsy until Tim pulled out his signature leeches, effectively ending that flirtation. Bryces was approached by a military man wishing to discuss the giant threat, him advocating their extermination, while Bryce is suggesting going after the items the giants are after that are bringing them into conflict with civilization. Halfred spent some time making moves on Zelron's girlfriend, impressing her with his grabber arm, while a halfling scholar waited dejectedly to speak to him. And Kazan was approached by two women wanting psychic party tricks. While he bristled at being a party trick, he gave them just enough of a show to get them to go away.
I thought you were going to totally end that sentence a completely different way.
How? He gave them
enough of a show. Period.
Right. Gave them a show. Step into the back, ladies. And the party goes on. You guys are in the middle of it. Start back up my... So yeah, you guys, we called it right after you guys got through those events. You are all still doing what you were doing. Kazan, I believe you were
Stuffing my
stuffing
face
your
full
face.
of rich food.
Yep. Tim, what are you doing now? You scared the woman away with your leashes.
Oh, I think Tom will just wander back to the food table.
Okay.
Start shoving things into his mouth.
Okay. The two of you are making quite an impression on the guests. Raymond, Halfred, you're still talking to the woman up there, and Bryces, you're still talking to that general.
How is she responding to my...
You rolled a 20 on your persuasion check earlier, so I think she's responding very well. Right now, you're sitting right next to her, talking about your grabber arm, and showing her just what it can do, while that halfling dude is sitting right next to you, just sadly waiting to speak to you whenever you deign to give him any attention.
Halfred's gonna call over to the fair lady at the end of the table. Be like,
Okay.
fair lady, why do you sit there by yourself? Come join us over here and see what this halfling can do with my 3-foot-long grabber arm.
Okay. The woman looks over at you and heads your way. You're gathering quite... You're becoming like the life of the party with that grabber arm. Hey, everybody, come over here and look at this thing.
It's the arm that's going to be the memorable thing.
That's right. I was going to forget. Like, was it a halfling that had the
It's our inanimate carbon rock.
So you guys are all doing that. Tim... Well, Kazan, you're not looking in that direction.
Nope. Eating food.
You're just eating food. Tim and Bryces, you may notice, Corinne, you guys are out of earshot, so you can't hear what's going on with her. But you do see a figure approach her and begin speaking to her and the Silver Dragonborn that she was speaking with earlier. And he makes some motions towards their palms, and they sort of, it looks like they agree or something along those lines. And he begins like tracing his finger over their palms. He does the Silver Dragonborn woman first and says a few words, and she smiles at him and responds back. And then he begins to do Bryce's palm. I can't believe I just did that again. It's because I'm looking right at you. That's why. I'm gonna blame it on Rochelle not being here.
I'm gonna mail you 2 sticky notes, and I want you to put them up on your monitor.
Yep.
When we're doing this, that have big
Heather
lettering on them.
Rochelle is correct. He begins tracing his hand on Corinne's palm, and you see him get very wide-eyed and a shocked look in his face, and he begins saying a lot. He's been like talking very quickly to Corinne, and you can't hear what he's saying. And then she looks a little dismayed at what he's telling her too, and that this conversation is seems kind of heavy, and it goes on for a little while, and eventually the man leaves. So you all none of you have any idea what was said in that conversation, but it seemed like it was something shocking was told to her.
I'll ask my military friend if he knows who that person was.
Sure. Yeah, you ask the general, and he says, "Oh yes, that's his. I forget his name. He's a palm reader. Zelron invites him to all of these events. He's quite good. Says he can trace your lineage and your ancestry back many generations just by looking at your palm. It's a fascinating bit of trickery."
I wonder if you would freak his right the hell out if he sees demons and shit.
Probably. It goes back like 3 generations and there's a demon.
Yeah.
Like, oh god.
Oh god.
Hey,
Sure,
I never
he's
said
seen
how
worse.
much of a tiefling I was.
That's true. Like it could be some generations down. But demon blood gets introduced somewhere. Halfred. So Halfred, you are currently entertaining 4 people with your grabber arm antics.
Who needs magic spells?
Yeah. The woman is asking you all sorts of questions about its construction and where you got it.
I don't remember where I got it from. I've had it for as long as I can remember.
It was one of the. I think it was just one of the towns we stopped in on the way.
It was awkward at first. I didn't know what to do with it, how to use it. It just filled my pants pocket.
Great.
I mean, I it just kind of grew with me, and eventually I discovered how to use it, and that is how I'm able to confidently show you with confidence my great skills using my grabber arm. Who knows? One day I aim to make it even longer.
Man can dream.
Yeah, that's right. The woman seems suitably impressed by your talk. Although she does seem purely platonically interested in your grabber arm. More in its construction and actual efficiency than anything else.
You want to touch it?
But I think she already did last time.
I know, I can't remember if she touched it.
I think she did.
Well,
Yeah.
how about the new girl? The new girl want to touch it.
Yeah, sure. The new girl touches it too.
They can
Meanwhile,
both touch it.
A line forms.
That's right. Meanwhile, there's a young man and the halfling that are sitting next to you, just sort of watching this conversation. They're maybe trying to join in, but they're sort of just hanging out. While you are showing off the grabber arm and hitting around these 2 women, some waiters come by and refill your glasses and put down some food. And they both leave.
Thank you. What is it?
There's wine glasses, and they set down some, I don't know, they look like potato skins in front of you. Like they're potatoes filled with things.
He picks up the potato skin with the grabber arm and gives it to the further girl left.
She plucks it from the grabber arm and thanks you and eats it.
It's all mangled and crushed. Here you go. Pop, 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 pop.
He gets it almost to her and then just squishes it.
You're welcome.
It splatters on her face. Sorry about that.
Usually doesn't happen.
I got a little excited there. Let me get you another one. 96 seeds.
Yeah.
Handing her a potato skin.
Roll a sleight of hand check. Let's see how well you actually hand her the. You crush it on her. You crush it right. You're trying to feed it to her, and you get it almost to her mouth, and half of it goes down her dress.
Oh my!
She says
that to happen.
I'm gonna go now. I gotta clean myself up.
Wait, don't go.
Real smooth, Alfred.
Yep. Halford, you got to put the grabber arm down, and you notice there's a piece of paper in your lap that wasn't there a second ago.
What does it look like?
It looks like a note.
Can I quickly see what it says, or do I have to actually really look at it to read it?
You sort of, let's say you open up just a little bit to sort of just see what it is.
Oh, so it's folded.
It's folded, yeah, and it looks like a fully written note. You can't read it without actually opening it up and reading it.
He doesn't know what it is. He's just gonna open it up right there.
Okay.
No secrecy.
You open up the note, and I don't know how to show it to just you. Actually,
Go to the edit, and it should be.
I can give him. I can put it in his journal, but I can't show it to just him. So, Halford, go to the
Oh.
journal tab and scroll down to handouts, player handouts. And let me know if you see a note.
I see it.
Okay. You begin reading the note. I'll give you just a couple seconds to get through it. Zeron's girlfriend.
I'm gonna read.
There will be a test at the end.
As soon as I see a certain word in the second paragraph, I'm gonna quickly clench my hand down and say, "Excuse me, I must go to the restroom."
The halfling man says, that looked like an interesting bit of literature there. What was that?
Has no one ever passed you a note in class?
Sadly,
Are those notes
no.
meant? Oh, you live a sad life, little man.
I'm a lonely halfling.
If this was meant for you to read, someone would have given it to you too.
I suppose so, but we're friends now, aren't we?
I don't know your name.
He looks dejected again.
Just letting him off real easy. I'm sorry, who are you?
How long have you been sitting there? I'm pretty sure there was a pretty girl sitting there before.
My name is Diero. I was hoping to speak to you about giants.
Oh. What about giants?
I'm a giant scholar, you see. I just wish to know all about your
You're
journeys.
pretty big.
Well,
You shouldn't eat all this food over here.
it's a nervous tick. I can't help it.
You can get some Weight Watchers on you.
He looks dejected again. You're just ruining this halfling man.
Really is.
So what are you, a scholar of?
Giant and giant history.
Oh.
I was hoping I could get some insight from you in regards to your activities with the giants and what you found with them and what you intend to do about them.
Well, we know they're pretty big. I don't know. Going around hunting them down to kill them all.
Is that what you're doing in Neverwinter? Is there some lead on giants that you have here?
They're everywhere. No, we're here to get information.
Information? Well, I might be able to help you with that. What kind of information?
You're gonna have to ask our leader about that.
Oh, really?
I'm more of the GPS tracker.
Well,
Do all the talking.
I was just hoping halfling to halfling we could, have a little chat. But I can speak with whoever you think I should speak to.
Yeah. Hit me up later, after the feast is over. And talk.
Certainly, I look forward to it.
Me too, Dave.
It's Diero.
Dear.
D-I-E-R-O.
Do you have like a card or anything?
No.
Damn. That scholar doesn't have a business card.
I'm a local entrepreneur.
All right. Well, give me a pen. Let me just write it. Let me just write it on here.
All right. Yeah.
D-I-A-B-L-O.
E-R-O. D-I-E-R-O. Green bottle.
Green.
And Bingo was his name.
Whatever. I'll just write you down as giant half elf. All right. I'm a giant halfling.
Okay, so at this point,
And
are
turns-
you... Yeah, you already know?
What's that?
Just go ahead.
Oh, I forgot about that note. Actually.
Are you still sitting there?
Yes.
Okay.
He turns his attention back to the Zellen's girlfriend.
All right. Moving on to Mr. Tim. Tim, you are currently at the table stuffing your face full of food because you think it's what you're supposed to do.
I remember my head's like tilted back and my jaw's completely open, just dropping stuff in.
Not even chewing at all, just dropping it in like you're putting it in a sack. A man comes up to you, says, "That's
This soup is real hard.
where are you? There you are." Says, "That's some trick you got there. How do you do that?"
Oh, you just tilt your head back and just let it slide on down.
Wow, I don't think that's something I could do. It seems pretty difficult.
Oh, it's not that difficult. Here, watch, I'll show you. He attempts to grab the guy's head and open up his jaw.
Oh no.
The man pulls back in shock. It's like, "Oh God, unhand me, sir."
All right, suit yourself.
As you're saying that, and the man is backing off, you hear a voice behind you, right behind you, say, "Timerius? Is it really you?"
Ty, what now?
"It is you!" And you feel a hand on your shoulder someone pull you around, and you become face to face with an elf man, an older looking elf gentleman with long white hair. And as soon as he pulls you around, his eyes get real wide. He says, You're not Timerius."
I don't believe I am. My name's Tim. Pleasure's mine.
"But I'm sorry, sir. I must have. I don't understand what's going on, but I have the wrong person.
Do I, sir? Who might you be?
My name is Lucian Zillacent.
Ah, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to
Lucy?
meet you. Sure, thank you. It's just that you, as impossible as it sounds, you sound just like an old friend of mine.
You don't say.
Not many people have a voice like that. And I haven't seen him in years, so I thought maybe he had returned to Neverwinter, but no, obviously you couldn't be him. You're,
Obviously, I suppose. What are you getting at? Did you have big ears or something?
He looked nothing like you, I'll say that. That's... You have a very distinctive look, sir. And a very
Thanks.
a very distinctive voice that... It just strikes me odd. That you would sound so much like him, but... Coincidences never cease, I suppose.
Happen every day.
I suppose they do. Oh, perhaps you'd like to talk to me for a little while. You sound just like my friend. It's somewhat comforting.
I have nothing else better to do. I can talk to you, sure.
Thank you. I appreciate the company. And the man begins just chatting with you about just stuff. How the food is. How you like Neverwinter. All that sort of thing.
Small talk.
Small talk, yep. Brysis.
That's me.
You've been talking to this general for a little while. Just the same conversations about tactics and strategy. And he's right now going on this long-winded speech about cavalry formations that you're only barely listening to. And you hear a voice behind you approaching that says, "Dear General, I think this young lady's had enough for the evening, don't you? Enough of the military talk. Perhaps someone else would like to hear it." And he says, the man says, "Of course, milady. I was just so caught up in this conversation. Perhaps another time, madam." He's talking to you now.
That would be lovely, General.
"It was a pleasure talking to you." He turns to leave. Brysis, you turn to look at who's talking to you, and you see a brown-haired woman with bright blue eyes and a very nice blue dress on. She says, "I think we might have a mutual friend."
I believe we might.
"I haven't introduced myself. Miri."
Pleasure to meet you, Miri.
Oh, shit.
I was like, that looks a little familiar. And who might you think our mutual friend would be?
Peoples in towers, in cities far away.
Towers can be wonderful things to visit.
They can indeed. Our mutual friends are looking for someone, I believe. And so are you.
Yes, I am. Do you know where I can find our friend?
I very well might. First things first, though, your halfling friend might require some assistance. You see, that halfling gentleman sitting next to him.
Uh-huh.
I do believe he works for the mutual friend we are acquainted with.
David? Diego?
It might not be a good idea to allow your friend to speak to him for much longer.
I shall go and assist my halfling friend. But if his companion works for the friend that we think he does, this will definitely cause a ruckus.
I would suggest perhaps not making too big of a fanfare here in the hall.
Scene it is! Food fight.
Perhaps for now, just extricating your friend from the situation would be enough.
Alright, which one is she referring to?
She's talking about the nebbish-looking halfling scholar sitting to the right of Halfred. It's just the generic nobleman token, yes.
Okay. Alright. So he works for more than likely my enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Alright.
Miri says, when you've dealt with that situation, I'll be here, ready to speak to you again.
I look forward to our conversation. And I'm making my way this way. As I pass Corinne up here, I'll kind of pull her to the side and tell her we have a lead we need to deal with.
Okay. Sure. We'll say she follows you.
All right. Need to zoom back in on this map here. Where is everybody?
You're down here.
Yep.
And
where'd everybody else go?
Kazin's down here. Kazin and Tim are both down here.
Tim's engaged with a person who looks like, or knows who he looks like.
Sounds like, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit. What do we do? Okay. I need the halfling alive.
Me?
But we don't want to. Nope, not you.
I would like to be alive.
Well, maybe you two. All right. We'll go get Kazan because Kazan has those mind powers.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to Kazin.
Yeah.
These women have
Basically,
left.
Yeah. I'm gonna just grab him by the collar of his armor and just gank him away from the table.
Ah! I reach out and grab like a handful of food. Ah!
I slap his hand.
Oh,
You can eat later. All right.
I don't want to be on the road for another 2 weeks and eat nothing but gruel.
This is why you have to get a cooking pot and learn to cook.
He's
All
like,
right,
you know what?
so-
You're right. Screw this adventuring thing. I'm gonna pursue my dream of being a chef.
Use all my psychic powers to become the best chef.
Determine what the ultimate flavor is for everyone around me.
All right,
Next
so
on
I
Psychic
will
Chef.
fill them in that a unknown, trustworthy individual has alerted us to Halfred's friend having
Wonder how that
information that we're going to need.
Unknown, trustworthy.
Yeah, Kaz kind of furrows his eyebrows.
I don't want to metagame here, but she's good people.
Yeah, she's good people.
Well, I would
She's a
depend.
friend of a friend. It's okay. I vouch for the person. I'm not telling you who it is.
As in size.
No, I vouch for her. Like I say, like, well, I would give my life for this friend. So,
Jeez.
yeah, Mary didn't say shit like that willy nilly. Oh shit, wrong person.
Miri probably doesn't either.
Nope. So, I fill them in on what I know that he links to our Weevil friend,
Mm.
and we need him alive to find out where the Weevil is. But we got to get him away from Alfred.
Why don't we just keep playing along and seeing where he's going?
Because I can't go up there. If he works for the Weevil, he knows who I am. And Tim can't go up there either.
What do you want me to do?
Well, get him into a dark corner and tie him up.
And
You
then
got a giant blue dragonborn with you.
It's a little aggressive. How about
I like it.
go beat him up, guys.
I could send a message to Halfred, and Halfred could lure him into like the bathroom or something.
That'll work.
I like that even more.
Now, how Halfred lures him into the bathroom, I don't know.
That'll be up to Halfred to decide. You know, slight hand on the leg. Come with me, my friend. Flutter the eyelashes. Works for the ladies.
Okay, I guess I'll make my way up there.
Yeah, but we got to get them somewhere that people are not. We can't cause a scene here.
Okay. So we either needed, okay, so like put him in the bathroom or out in the hall. I
Either
don't
one
know.
works.
We're still in this guy's like mansion, aren't we?
You are, yeah.
Just not in this room.
This is the
Is
feasting
there like
hall.
a balcony somewhere or something we can?
Secret room somewhere.
A closet?
There's a large hallway right outside the main feasting hall that's got a lot of there's a coat room. There's probably some
That'll work.
studies along the way. There's probably a lot of empty rooms in this place.
Be sure to
Just
pull out
offer it.
candlesticks.
I mean, I
Just tell
could
Hopper
literally.
what he needs to do, and he'll figure it out.
I was gonna say I could cast a spell on him, but if we can just, I mean, he's already talking to Halfred, so we could just tell Halfred to separate him from the others, and then just try to follow his lead.
Okay.
Kazan says, not knowing how insane Halfred's player is at doing these things. Alright, well, I will casually make my way up. I'm going to go back and get a plate of food and come up here like I'm scoping out for more different kinds of foods at this table.
This table.
And once I get within 30 feet of Halfred, I will use Awakened Mind to tell him we received intel. Bryce has received intel from a trustworthy source that the halfling that's been talking to you is a Zhentarim agent. Is that right? Works
Works for the Weevil.
works directly for the Weevil. So we need to.
Right, Chris? I deciphered our conversation correctly, right?
I'm not telling you, but
And
Miri, when you were
Just
talking,
nod or shake your
Miri
head.
didn't give you any indication that you had misinterpreted.
and we need to separate. We need to try to lure him out somewhere, and then, like, obviously question him. So we need him alive. We don't want to cause a scene here. I tell all that to Halfred. Without looking at him,
Halfred's
he's
not-
still like getting plates of food.
Halfred's not used to voices suddenly appearing in his head,
Not yet.
and so not yet. So he kind of jerks a little bit when he first hears Kazan, listens to his whole message, and then
Probably recognize my voice pretty quick though.
no, he knows it's you, but he's just not used to the sudden
Yeah.
intrusion.
Hi,
Boy.
Alfred.
Do not be alive.
And so after Kazan finishes his message, Hoffman says, "Oh my, the wine is heavy with me, and I must use the restroom. Sorry, my lady, but I must take this grabber arm with me."
I need.
So I go to the restroom. Diego. You accompany
It's
me to the
Diero.
Diero. I don't understand that combination of letters, but let's go to the restroom. Maybe we can talk more about giants and your weight problem.
Says, I suppose. Yes. I'm very interested to hear what your plans are for these giants. I understand.
Excuse me, my lady. And he slowly puts his grabber arm away.
One last look.
One last look.
Since I'm not a fan of splitting the party, I'm debating on if we should get Tim too.
Tim's just chatting
Where-
with an old elf man right now. That's you guys just look
Yeah.
over and he's just
Going great.
he's just having a nice old chat.
We've left Tim with an old person.
Next we see they're just making out like aggressively.
Things advance.
Bitches are squirming all around.
Yeah. Tim's getting all
Would
the
you
action.
lead me to the nearest restroom?
Certainly. This way, sir. He leads you.
So, whoa. Jumped over that table.
Yeah, he did.
Dramatically spins around.
So, what do you know about giants?
Says, I study as you're walking.
Yep.
All the way to
As they're walking.
the south end here. He says, I've studied all of Asturian lore. Giants used to own this whole land, you see. The Asturian kingdom was the giants' empire over the entirety of the Sword Coast. The dragons got jealous, you see, and started a war with the small folk to overthrow the giants. The Asturian Empire was crumbled. It's a fascinating story, really.
Yes.
You guys,
Sounds
let's.
like a blast.
I'd like to see if anyone is watching the dude as he's heading towards the door.
Roll a perception check.
I'm not the most perceptive.
You don't see anyone take direct notice of this halfling man as he's walking down the hall.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone seems engaged in their own things, besides you guys that are probably staring at him him and Alfred fairly intently.
I'd like to make eye contact with Miri to judge her.
Miri, you make eye contact with Miri, and she's not. Her head is not facing that way, but it looks like she is out of her side eye watching the halfling, and you just see her nod. That's all she does.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna say I don't have another map here, so we're gonna say this middle area.
We'll just black out everybody else.
Yep, this area right here is a room outside the hall. So you, Halfred, you and the halfling exit the hall. And he shows you to the nearest restroom, which is just a couple doors down from the hall, as he's talking to you about giants and Asturian kingdoms and whatnot.
And then Kazan's with me, and we're just behind them, right?
Yes. However, as you two are starting to follow, the halflings out of the room, a man, you hear a voice behind you say, Monsieur Kazan, might I have a word?
We'll turn around and look at who said that.
I have cheese puffs.
Go on.
Kill him. He's vaguely French.
He knows a French
Those
word.
fighting words.
So yeah, you turn to face him. Miri no, I'll call you. I'm just discovering I'm just a goddamn sexist. Apparently, they're all just interchangeable in my head.
Too many women here.
Yep.
And that note, I quit.
You all look the same.
Bryce's, are you still following the halflings outside? Or are you sticking with Kazan?
No, I'm following the halflings.
Okay.
I got Alfred if I need him.
You head out of the door and right behind Halford and the other halfling, and you see them heading towards a door a couple ways down.
Okay. I will stealthily, as stealthily as I can, in very shiny blue robes, come up behind them, because I've been trying to eavesdrop on their conversation.
Okay. And you...
Bits and pieces about a story.
Yeah.
And as they're turning to go into the bathroom, I'll put my nice little arm around them and be like, I'd love to hear more of this story, and just follow them in and shut the door.
Okay. While you're doing that, Kazan, you are talking to a human man who looks middle-aged, clean-cut. He says, Monsieur Kazan, a friend of ours wishes to extend her well wishes. The Lady Atalia wishes she could be here.
Does she now?
She does. But she asked me to send you her regards.
How the hell did you know I was going to be here in Neverwinter?
We are in many places, Monsieur Kazan.
Who are you?
I represent a group that you have meddled in the affairs with.
We're rather good at that. Affair meddling.
You are indeed. But I come here not tonight as your enemy, but as a friend.
Hmm.
I do not believe that your meddling in our affairs has anything to do with us, to be honest, but with our poor choice of allies.
Could be.
And as
I don't know anything about you or your allies. Only what I've encountered.
my group, you have encountered us in Yartar. Our activities there have been severely set back due to your intervention. And you killed one of our number in Xanthar's Keep.
Kazan steps up real close to this guy and just kind of looks at him with his eyes like slits. And he's like, "Who are you? Who is your group?" And he's like, "Cut the bullshit. I can reach into your mind and pluck it out if I want to."
Kazan, you hear a voice in your head say, "And I could do the same to you, sir."
But it echoes because of the ear.
Mind wars.
Feedback. Meanwhile,
She's a giant mind middle finger in his head.
Meanwhile, Tim, the gentleman you're talking to has had a number of drinks since you've started talking to him, and now he's tearily eyed telling you all about his old dear friend Timerius that you sound just like. He's telling you that his friend was a holy man here in Neverwinter, a priest of Torm, but that he went on some adventures with his brother, Enabrin. And that's the last time he ever saw his dear friend. And he starts getting teary-eyed. But Tim, the important part to you is that the name of the brother immediately strikes a chord. The name Enabrin, you're sure you remember it, and you pull out your magical focus, your book, and on the very first page, before anything else is written, on the back of the front cover is just the letters that spell out the word Enabrin.
Oh, Tim's story.
Yeah, it's creator. Can you spell that name for me? Because I'm going to need all these names for my recap.
E-N-E...
This is important stuff.
E-N-E-B-R-I-N.
Can't type it in for me?
I could.
That would be most helpful.
Why, sir, speaking of coincidences, that is mighty coincidental. I do believe in my book here it has that exact same letterings.
The man looks at it and says, "My God, you're right. That's his name right there. What is this book?"
This is the creator's book, sir. I follow it every day and try to abide by every rule. Sometimes it don't make no sense, though.
Rules? This looks like a common diary, sir.
What?
He asks if he can hold it for a second.
Sure, just be careful with it. It's all I got.
He says, Of course. He starts flipping the pages. I'll take this page and this page.
Something Tim just snaps.
The laser eyes turn on and murder.
That was the end of that party. He starts flipping through the pages and he says, yes, this appears to just be Enabrin himself. It appears to be his just personal diary. Nothing of interest. Just what he did that day.
Nothing of interest. There is wisdom on every page, sir. What to eat, when to go to the market, where to fetch the finest bog leeches?
Says, "Ah, yes, I see that here, bog leeches. That makes sense, I suppose. Enabrin was, I believe, a ranger of sorts. He would have knowledge of that sort of thing.
A ranger?
An outdoorsman.
I suppose. Yeah, he did go outdoors a lot.
Yes, but I'm trying to see if there's any information in here about what happened to my old friend, but he starts flipping through the pages more. He says, it just ends.
Yeah, he just sort of disappeared one day when I was gone.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, wait, he didn't disappear.
You found him dead.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just came back and there he was, deader than a doornail.
Oh, that's sad to hear. I wasn't very close with Enabrin, but it is sad to hear that he's passed.
Yeah, I guess you could say I wasn't too close with him either. I was there with him every single day of my life, but I don't know. That's when I decided to pick up the book and go on my way.
Fascinating. I don't know what to make of any of this. Meanwhile, Barisis, you have stepped into the men's... Well, it's a bathroom. They don't have gendered bathrooms in this mansion.
More aggressive.
Just the rich and the poor.
That's right.
Yeah.
The servants probably don't have the same bathroom. That's probably accurate. You've stepped into the bathroom with Halfred and this Diero fellow. And he looks and says, Why are we all in the bathroom?
Oh, let's not play games, my friend. Do you know who I am?
I've never met you before, no.
You don't have to have met me to know who I am. Let's talk about why you're at the party.
I was invited to this party.
Okay.
I'm a guest.
That's good. Who's the host?
He seems visibly nervous now. The Roaringhorn. He's the host. He invites everyone.
Mm-hmm. And you are?
Diero Greenbottle.
This is Diablo.
Diablo. That's not my name.
Pretty sure that's what you told me. Look, I wrote it down. Oh no, it says giant scholar.
You're a scholar of giants.
That's right. I was just asking my. You're part of his crew. Yes, that's right.
I thought you were saying that you were a giant scholar.
Fat?
Yeah.
No, I'm a scholar of giants. I know things about giants.
Oh.
Well, scholars have to have patrons, so who is yours?
He looks at you and says, No patron. No patron at all. It's just me. Just me looking up things about giants, that's all.
Uh-huh. And who asks you questions about giants?
People come to me if they need information about giants, I suppose.
And who's come to you recently?
No one. No one at all.
Half excited says, has someone named Woosbring come to you?
He says, No, I don't know that name. No. I think I'd like to leave now.
He kind of talks like this.
You startle the halfway and he backs into a sink. I don't know who you're talking about.
Alright. Bryce isn't gonna play nice for much longer.
Bryce,
so I'm gonna get down on his level. Because I'm taller than he is, since he's a halfling.
Hey.
Short. And via thaumaturgy, I'm gonna make some eye magic. And tell him, I know who your patron is. You need to tell me what you have told him.
Roll an intimidation check.
Wait, I am also going to pull out. Alfred catches on. And he
I know what's
pulls out-
going on here.
Ah,
He pulls out his
finally.
short sword.
Okay. You're threatening him with a short sword.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
know this will give
Um,
Bryce some advantage.
Maybe. Yeah, Bryce, you can roll intimidation with advantage.
Play your game, DM.
Yep.
Alright, you said
Intimidation.
intimidation?
Yeah.
Alright, I got a +7 in intimidation.
Goddamn.
Wow.
That'll do.
Scary lady is scary.
Yeah. Well, you rolled an 18 and a 19. Either one of those would have worked just fine. The man says, I don't know his name. He just wanted me to find out what you all were doing in Neverwinter. That's all. See if you.
Where is he?
He told me to find out what I could and come to the Feral Hound. And
When? And what?
Say again?
And what?
Oh, he says, tomorrow, I think. He wanted me to come tomorrow.
When?
I don't know, any time. He's
Not a man that would wait all day. What time did he tell you to show?
midday, maybe? I don't know. He's paying me.
How much?
He's paying me 100 gold.
Should have held out for more, kid.
I don't know how any of this works. He just wanted me to talk to you, see if any particular names or activities came up when you were discussing your purpose here in Neverwinter. That's all.
Like what particular names?
They didn't say.
Oh, they said.
He just wanted to know if you were here looking for anyone. That's all.
Gonna give you a bit of advice, kid. You're going... Oh, shit. What am I gonna do with this kid? Can't let him go. I can't let
Box his
Halford...
ears.
I can't let Halford stab him.
This'll teach you.
Yeah.
You think about that. Meanwhile,
Yeah. I'm gonna think.
Kazan, in your head, a voice. Now that we understand each other properly, perhaps we can have a reasoned conversation. You see, the group I represent has no more wish to ally themselves with the Zhentarim. They have proved a most fruitless ally at the end of the day, not the least of which because of your involvement with them. So, I would like to extend an olive branch here this day.
I would like to attempt to grapple this man. I'm gonna reach out and grab him physically.
Physically?
Oh,
Physically.
Jesus. Don't start a scene in the hall.
Where are you? Let's. Where is your actual token? There you are.
I think we're near the entrance. My idea is I want to grab him and throw him out into the hall dramatically. It's an athletics check contested by the target's athletics or acrobatics check.
Okay. Go for it.
I may have to use inspiration here. Let's see what you roll.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Yes. I will use inspiration.
Oh.
I-
Oh wait, I can't see you.
What happens on a tie when it's a versus? A versus
Attacker
check?
wins.
So I guess, yeah, attacker does win on a like attack roll, so I guess it would be the same principle here.
Yeah.
All right.
Aggressor.
The aggressor, yeah, exactly.
The aggressor, thank you.
All right, you just barely, he sort of attempts to just brush you off, but you get a firm hold on his, like, shoulders. And you hear a voice in your head say, "What are you doing?"
I am going to use my movement to carry him bodily out into the hallway. Then I will dramatically throw him to the ground. And in Awakened Mind, I will telepathically say, "No more games. If you want an olive branch, you need to explain exactly who you are and what this group is. I don't deal with shadowy organizations, as you should well know."
Okay.
Hopefully me throwing him to the ground gives me something.
Some sort of reaction.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm sure
I
we'll get a
assume
reaction.
we've exited the feast hall, now we're in that main hall.
You are in the main
section.
hall. There's no one in the hall right now. It's just an empty, quiet hall. He stands up.
See, I didn't want to make too much of a scene, that's why I just grabbed him.
You can
Brought
hear
him
a
outside.
crying halfling in the bathroom.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. He stands up quickly and gets right in your face. He says, "No games, then. You know what I am."
Oh,
You see
shit.
his face begin to change, and the jaw sort of separates. But then as soon as it starts,
Fucking Blade 2 up in here.
it goes back, and the face of the man comes back together, and he sort of like cracks his neck a little bit, and he says, "We offer you peace. Leave our affairs alone, take your fight to the Zhentarim, and leave us alone."
Kazin's going to remain in his face, unflinching, and say, "If you don't start giving me answers right now, this is going to end violently."
"What answers do you wish?"
What is your group called?
"Our moniker amongst you all is the K Society."
Can I roll history or something to figure out what that is?
Sure. Roll
Is history the best one?
Yeah, that'd probably be the best bet.
Go, -1.
You've never heard of the K Society.
Kazan just blinks at him. What are you trying to do?
That would be part of this peace process. You stay out of our affairs. You have no interest in what we are doing, what we have done.
My interest starts when you start kidnapping innocent people and dominating their wills and supplanting them. That is not something that we can just stand idly by with.
Fine, then.
You're not trying to sell fruits on the corner stand here and us staying away from it. You are actively trying to subvert an entire city. You see where that could cause some problems with most people.
He says, "Fine, then. Fight the Zhentarim and us. You will die in our tentacles."
Kazan will manifest his Psyblade now and attack him.
Oh, no. All right.
He's out in the hallway.
Oh, shit.
All right. So you're
I'm gonna lose my halfling now because of
Is
you.
the bathroom within 30 feet?
No, it's not. It's down the hallway. It's a couple doors down.
Okay.
All right.
If I
you're
lose my
gonna-
halfling, I'm gonna be pissed.
You're
Kazan's
gonna-
all alone.
You are gonna have a quick combat encounter all by your lonesome. As the man,
Well, Corinne would have been with him.
well,
Well, maybe. Or at least into that general area.
yeah, it's a good question. Where is Corinne? Would she have
Oh
followed?
yeah, we haven't been. Yeah.
I don't know.
Would she have followed you guys in the bathroom or hung out with Kazan? What do we think she? What do we think she did?
Oh, you know what? The other thing I could do, if you let me go back a time, I could try to cast. Well, I could try to cast suggestion on him, and suggest that like he return to his if we want to try to also follow up on this, I could try to suggest that he also return to his bosses here, and then we could follow him.
Yeah, or you could have asked where his Zhentarim allies were, so that way we could go to them.
Probably.
Well, you're in combat.
He doesn't
now.
seem like he was being very cooperative.
The time for if suggestion is something that can't happen while you're actually in combat, right? Like aggressive. I don't know.
I can't. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about. Yeah, I mean it's just another spell.
Okay. Well, then I'll let you try to roll it.
Well, I don't know if that's what I want to do. Or if I just want to fight him.
Let's say Corinne is just outside the bathroom, not letting anybody else in.
Well, if that's the case, then she sees down the hallway a ways. She
Yeah.
sees this going on.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll say that she just guarded the bathroom door, and so she's seeing this altercation with Gazin go on.
I agree with that.
Oh shoot. There are no tokens selected. All right, well, let's just say him. This noble is okay. So technically, Corinne's going first. I don't know if you guys want her to do anything. She's down at the bathroom, like watching Kazan shove a man down.
I walked out of the feast hall and threw him to the ground.
Threw him to
and
the
then
ground.
We both kind of stood at each other without talking, and then all of a sudden I basically entered turn-based combat mode.
Yep.
I don't know. I would imagine she would run up to aid to
How
see
far
what's
away
going
is she?
on.
She's about 60 feet away.
Probably would have like pound on the door, going bang, bang, bang.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, alert you guys. Kazan's doing
Yeah.
something.
Kevin's starting shit.
Captain pulled out the side blade.
You fools left him alone,
You attacked a nobleman.
and you pulled him away from eating. Now all he has is violence. His only friend.
Okay, we'll say she did that. She banged on the door. I'm gonna say, in this situation, she likes to use chromatic orb just as an opening volley.
You think she would immediately go aggressive?
I mean, if you're
Yeah,
if
would
you're
she know?
attacking him, well, yeah, I don't know. Would she know?
she at this point she just I don't know what she's seen.
Well,
She just sees
I
Captain
mean,
pull out the side
metagame.
blade.
If we metagame it, then yeah, she would attack.
would've
But
known.
honestly, I don't know what her character
well,
would.
since
if
I'm
she's
playing
that far
her,
away.
let's say she comes down the hall 30 feet and she says she just asks you what's going on.
Okay. I assume on my turn I would then I would tell her.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And Kazan, it's your turn.
All right. As my action, I'm going to attempt to just cast suggestion on him as my first move.
Okay.
I've got the Cyglaive out ready to go, but the first thing I'm going to do is try to. Let's see, how does this spell work again? Let's be. It's just, of course, effectively limited to a sentence or two.
All right. What are you saying?
I am going to. You want to do the saving throw first, or you want me to do it?
You say
'Cause
it
you do get a
first.
you get a save.
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
let's hear you say what you're gonna say first.
Okay, I am going to telepathically suggest that my group means no harm to you and your group. You need to report to your masters as such. You need to report to your masters in about an hour about that. So my group
Okay.
my group is of no harm or want any conflict with your group, and you need to report that to your bosses in about an hour.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
The creature's form when you entered combat mode, the creature's form had gone into deep scion form, and now it comes back into the shape of the nobleman. He says,
As soon as I see that happen, I zip it like the Cyglaive like zips up there, and I kind of nod at him.
he says, "You wouldn't dare attack a nobleman of Neverwinter. But you mean us no harm. I will report this back to those I report to."
I nod at him warily.
How ominous.
How ominous.
Now that spell, I do have to stay concentrating on it, but it does last up to 8 hours.
Okay. Up to 8 hours.
would.
Alright. Okay.
So I turn back to Corinne, and I don't know if he hangs around. I basically try to give us enough time to wrap up our shit here before having to follow him.
Sure.
And I kind of smile at Corinne and say, "It's no problem." And then as soon as that guy gets without earshot, I immediately tell her the situation.
Okay.
I assume she tells me about what's going on.
You're right. What's going on in the bathroom? Meanwhile, in the bathroom, I don't think anything. The halfling is sort of almost sobbing to himself now.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, they're bullying a halfling.
Well, I'm bullying him.
He's told you that he was told to meet someone, he doesn't know his name, at the Feral Hound sometime around midday tomorrow.
Okay. Feral Hound, midday tomorrow.
Is that a bar or an inn? What is that?
He says it's a tavern.
Okay.
He says it's a tavern.
And they only wanted him to find out if we were looking for anyone in particular or what activities we had in the city.
Yep.
I'm going to ask him how he knew we were in the city.
He says, I have no idea. I was already invited to this gala. And this afternoon, I was approached.
I was gonna say, it sounds like this guy doesn't actually work for him. He was just a patsy that's been used by him, by the Weevil.
Someone knew you were here, but I don't know how.
We got a rat. Alright. I'm going to turn back and look at Halfred and say, should we let him go?
Sort of. Copper points his sword harder at him. It says, "Take off all your clothes."
Oh no.
I was about to say, what does letting him go sort of mean?
It means not with his shame.
This is what I mean.
Your dignity is staying here.
You may go. The pride is here.
Bryces is going to go with it. And he's going to go, alright, go on. Take him off.
Halfred, roll another intimidation check.
We're heroes, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd like to use.
Can it be one of those ones that I see Halfred kind of floundering, and so I just freak the dude out again and say, do what I tell you to do if you want to live? Or do what he tells you to do if you want to live?
Sure, yeah. Halfred, I'll let you roll another intimidation check. Regular.
Yeah!
Why do I allow these things?
Because you're curious.
Yeah.
I've called the Bathroom of Intimidation. That might be the name of this episode.
I do pull out a graham cracker for the halfling to eat, though.
Yeah.
Your tears will make the sweetest songs.
He begins she doesn't even respond to you. He just begins shakily just removing his trousers. He says, why am I doing this?
Oh no.
Just weeping the entire time.
Out of context.
Now I will box his ears and tell him not to ask questions.
Halfred and
Is
Bryce
everything-
are just going, yeah.
Did you take everything off?
Yeah, he took his trousers and his shirt off. He's in his underwear now.
Take that off too.
So glad I'm not in there.
Good.
Two most morally questionable
Why?
characters in this bathroom.
Bryce, are you just sitting there watching this happen? This.
I'm staring at the wall above his head and going through the pockets of his pants.
Was this a picture of your son? Bad news.
Okay. He very sadly, he's crying now. Takes off his underwear. What do you do with this naked halfling, Alfred?
He takes all the clothes and then says, "Let's go, Bryces," and walks out.
Right behind him.
He's a schoolyard bully.
I'll leave our little halfling friend with a little
You're supposed to be
words of
Batman.
wisdom to
Batman did this to me every day.
God, I'm laughing so hard. That maybe next time he'll think twice before offering to.
For going to the bathroom with somebody.
There's that. Before offering to get info on somebody.
Okay. You say that to the naked, crying halfling in the bathroom.
This is some cause and effect bullshit.
You leave a weeping nude halfling in the corner. You go out in the hallway.
Did he have anything good in his pockets?
Picture
Yeah.
so I can use this guy's self on him and then pocket that 100 gold and I can go talk to the Weevil. Boom!
Well, go in there and take a look at him.
But Cass is not aware of
He's
the situation.
naked.
Nope. Kazan, we need you to be able to disguise yourself as that guy. Go take a look.
All right. Oh my god!
What have you done?
He's just a weeping man, and
He soiled himself. There's a toilet right there. Oh, all right. I've seen enough. I think I can pull that off. I've seen way too much now. I don't really need to be that correct when I use disguise self.
You can become body hair accurate.
Yeah.
What I find in his pockets.
You found 5 silver.
Ah.
It was his bus fare.
I tossed the silver back in the room, locked the door, and put a note on it that says "out of order."
You locked him in the bathroom too.
Alfred says that'll stop him from following us for a bit.
Yep.
And then he hands Kazan the clothes. You might need this.
I don't need to actually put on his real clothes.
Underwear dangling.
Oh, God.
Put on his underwear.
They smell of fear.
He was wearing it 3 minutes ago.
They're still warm.
It's still warm. It's for you.
But they look like a child's clothes because he's a halfling.
Yep.
No, shoot, how's this guy stuff going to work in that case?
That's true. I can only go a foot. I think a foot smaller.
How tall are you?
I'm probably way taller than a halfling. So that's actually probably a terrible plan.
You looked at his naked body for nothing.
You pervert.
Maybe we can build some kind of straw figure with the clothes. Put it on a little rolling cart. Because I can do the voice. I just can't look like it. So we mold some clay and put the clothes on it, creating like some kind of halfling homunculus.
Make it look. It's Weekend at Bernie's sort of style.
Yes.
This
Put like a
is-
big droopy hat on.
Yeah, you could try that. See how that works. Meanwhile, Tim, you're still talking to that gentleman. He's just sort of weeping quietly to
Yeah.
himself.
So, Tim's gonna ask him. So, how do you know the creator?
He says, Enabrin? He was Timerius' brother, I believe.
Can you spell Timerius? Also,
Sure, I will.
for
And
the
Tim's gonna
record.
ask him who Timerius is.
The deep scion said. He says, Timerius, have you not been listening to me at all? He's my oldest friend in the world.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of cutscenes happening back there.
He's
Tim's world is getting rocked a little bit here.
he was a priest here at Neverwinter. He was a priest of Torm, a great healer.
What is a Torn?
Torm, the god. He was a priest of Torm.
There are other gods?
Many other. And I'm afraid Enabrin was not one of them.
What?
Timerius, for all his goodness, was put under the sway of his adventuring brother.
We're gonna break our cleric.
And they went off to... It's good. Does not compute. Enabrin convinced Timerius to go adventuring with him out into the world. I don't know where they were going. That's the last I saw of him.
But I thought the creator created me.
I don't know where you come from, my friend. Enabrin very well may have created you. It's been years since I last saw Timerius or him.
How could a normal man create another man, though?
I don't know, my friend. And he pats you on the shoulder. Perhaps these are
He
questions...
took no lover?
I don't know how he accomplished such a feat.
So, he's not the creator, he's just Erebin.
He's just Enabrin. He's just a man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news if you held him in some high regard.
Huh.
That is true.
But he was an adventurer, a ranger. Took his...
Tim, at this point, has sort of stopped listening.
It's like the movie scene where just
the
it all...
cutscene, yeah,
just-
where it zooms in. The other noise goes away.
Single tear falls down Tim's cheek.
Tim, while you've got the camera zoomed in on your face and you just hear
Sad
white
song
noise,
plays.
you feel a tap on your shoulder and you hear a woman is at your shoulder and she says, Tim, is that right? I think your friends might need you out in the hall.
Okay.
And you turn to see the same woman that was talking to Bryces earlier, and she leads you out into the hallway. The man just sort of half-heartedly waves at you and says, "Good luck, my friend. Gods bless your wonderful voice."
Oh, what?
Just like my old friend. He takes another drink.
What was that guy's name?
That man's name was Lucian Zillicent. I can type that in too.
Excellent.
He was an elf man.
Elf man.
So yeah, Miri leads you out in the hallway, Tim, where you see everyone I think is gathered in the hallway at this point. Hello.
Yep.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
He looks fancy.
I know, I'm so fancy in Kansas City.
Were you playing soccer?
you know that's what everyone does here.
Well, to catch you up, we have a naked halfling locked in a bathroom.
What?
It's not
Okay,
Alfred.
sure we do.
Yep. And poor Tim has just had his whole world destroyed.
What happened?
He found out there is no god.
Wait, but more importantly, why is the halfling naked?
Oh.
Loud as a ghost?
No.
Oh, I want it louder. Does it start to reverb otherwise?
They're not related, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two events are unrelated. Tim's crisis of faith.
Let's just say high school bullying
Yep, some
all over again.
extreme hazing went on.
We got to take out some former high school aggression.
Yep.
It was hard for Halford being one of the shortest of his class.
That's right. So now you guys are all out in the hallway. The nobleman that you've identified as a deep scion
Oh.
is now just sort of hanging out. He's about to leave. He's sort of gathering himself, I think. I guess.
It's from last week.
You guys have locked the doors to the bathroom. Miri stops you all and says, so what did our halfling friend have to say?
That our other friend shall be at, and I tell her the name of the tavern. What was it called? The Fellows?
The Feral Hound.
The Feral Hound, yeah, that's it.
She stops and says, that is interesting. Not terribly surprising. It's a local establishment known for its hard drinking and occasional dog fighting.
Occasional.
I've tried to get it shut down before, but no success yet. It makes sense that that would be the place.
Who is this lady?
She says, none of you know me. Miri is my name. I'm not a noble woman per se. My mother is. Let's just say I'm an active participant in the events in Neverwinter.
Kaz would like to roll insight.
Sure.
Certainly the last person he talked to was actually some sort of tentacled fish creature.
She looks like a woman to you.
Alright, she checks out.
She says, if that's really where you're going, might I make a couple suggestions?
Can I roll history to see if I've heard of Miri?
Sure. I don't know what Miri's last name is.
Grey Castle, I think?
Or was it Grey Castle? But she hasn't given you her last name anyway, so you with a 17, you may have heard tales of about a year and a half ago. There were some events involving the Desserin Valley and some natural catastrophes, but there was a group of heroes who took care of that. And you seem to remember that Miri was the name of one of those heroes. But you're not sure if that's this Miri or not. Could be another Miri.
Kazan just watches her intently.
Okay. She says, if you intend to go to the Feral Hound, 2 suggestions. 1, I would make a choice deliberately on whether you intend to go during the day or the night. It's a bustling place full of lots of rough and tumble figures at night. Might be easier to sneak in when the doors are open and it's full of people, but the type who frequent this establishment are not the kind you'd want to get in a tussle with. If you go during the day, when they're closed, there'll be far fewer people there, but there'll likely be more notice if you walk in, if you know what I mean. My second suggestion, and she's sort of like pulling her coat up and a hood over her head, like she's getting ready to leave. She says, it always struck me odd that a dogfighting establishment would bury the remains of its losers right outside the back door. Seems awfully strange to me. Doesn't it to you? And she just begins to walk out of the hall.
Damn, that's cool.
And she leaves.
Meanwhile, Alfred remembers the note that was on his lap, reads it.
Yeah, we all need to share our conversations about our individual stories.
Yep.
And then he dashes back to the door of the hall and scans the room. Now, DM, does he recognize the handwriting?
He very much does recognize the handwriting.
Is it of Goose Brain?
It is, in fact, the handwriting of Woos Brain.
So he scans the room, guessing he doesn't see anything.
He sees nothing that even resembles his old master.
He says, damn. And tells the other guys about this note. Mostly because he can't remember the giant this note is referring to. Being an old halfling, he's difficult.
I will put the note in everybody's.
Basically, it says, "My friend, hope you would stay in the Shire, but you have a part to play in all this. As you know, the Zhentarim are pawns in this game. There's something far darker, pulling strings in the shadows, shadow that I cannot even venture into. Doing what I can to learn of this threat. Cannot meet in person, but I will give you advice. Find the giant you fought beside in the cave on the coast. He seeks the same locations the enemy does, and he will aid you. Wish I could tell you more, but I still have much to discover."
Wait, who's the giant you fought beside in the cave on the coast?
That is what I'm asking y'all.
No, this is before you met any of these folks, Halfred. You seem to remember a time long ago when you and Woos were traveling the Sword Coast, and that there was one instance where you were met up with a group of another group of adventurers, and you went into a cave to investigate some disappearances with the leader of that group, who was a large frost giant named Harshnag. And you ended up saving his life because you spotted a trap right before he stepped into it.
So we were allied with him or whatever, partnered with him.
Very briefly for that particular adventure.
Gotcha. In that case, I share with the party all about Harshnag. I have no idea where he is, though.
I was gonna say, how do we find that guy?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me sit down for a minute.
Wait, where was that? Where was that cave?
The cave.
Is it
Alfred-
important, or is it mostly just a reminder of Harshnag?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't remember exactly what the location was. You think it was somewhere in the north of Luskin, but you're not positive.
He was a frost giant?
It was a frost giant.
Do I know anything else about him? Like where he lives?
You don't remember anything like that. He was a leader of a adventuring party called the Grey Hands, and he was also investigating some disappearances of a local village, and you and Woos teamed up with him for that particular adventure back in the day. And then you parted ways afterwards.
Okay. So, guys, gotta find this Harshnag.
Yeah. So at this point, Muri is left. You guys spot the nobleman Scion. He's leaving.
I'm gonna tell everybody about that exchange. That this guy approached me just as Bryce is now for going to the bathroom, and he is one of the deep scions that we fought and killed in the Zhentarim outpost, and he actually wanted to extend an olive branch for us, but it was just for us to stay out of their affairs. And considering they were the ones that were trying to kidnap people in Yartar and enslave them or transform them or something, I basically told him no dice, and then I was going to throw down with him, but I actually was able to cast suggestion on him and tell him that we are of no threat and that he should report to his bosses soon. So we should be able to just follow him and see where they are located, at least in Neverwinter. And I'm still concentrating on that spell for the next 8 hours, so hopefully he gets there.
No more concentration spells for you.
Tonight, yeah. I don't think I have any others.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I did that on purpose.
So you guys are following him at this point? He's starting to leave. Did he say any?
We don't all have to go, but I assume we want to.
Serious?
This is the.
Can we take a break at the next convenient opportunity?
We should do it right now. This is a good opportunity.
All right. Sound like.
Yep. Let's take a break and we'll come back with them following the Deep Scion.
All this talk of bathrooms.
What if we can get him to wear the halfling clothes?
Put these on and walk into the Zhentarims.
How much does Halfred look like that halfling?
I mean, not to be racist, but halflings. All right, I believe we are coming back. You guys have left the hall, so that noise is no longer appropriate. You guys are following a nobleman out of the hall. I can hide the giant face of Zelron. I don't know if I actually put any. Nope, it's not. All right, so you guys follow the man out of the estate. He's just sort of walking at this point, probably due to Kazan's spell. He seems to be walking with just a single-minded dedication. He doesn't seem to be like looking around. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. He's just walking forward. And you guys kind of have to pick up the pace a little bit to even keep up with him, because he's just sort of walking at a brisk pace. And he comes out of the Roaringhorn estate and immediately turns north and begins heading north up the road here. And you all continue to follow him. And he takes no notice of you. You don't even need to be stealthy at all. He doesn't seem to even notice you're there or anyone. He's just sort of walking. And you follow him for about 15 minutes, or no, it takes about 10 minutes to get to the front gates. The front gates, it's nighttime now, but the front gates are not closed. There are guards and there are lights set up around the gate, but the gate itself is open. And the nobleman walks straight out of the gate, and the guards don't stop him. You hear them yell something to him. But he just doesn't even look up at him, and he keeps walking. You guys approach.
Enough that we know what he said. What they said.
No, the guard. You're kind of far enough back that you didn't hear what the guard said. You guys get up to the guard gate. Hold on, I gotta sneeze, but it's not coming. You guys get up to the guard gate, and you start walking through the gate too. And the guards say, "You all folks need any help tonight? You're heading out awful late." You just ignore him and keep walking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell him. We're following this guy.
Yeah, I mean, the guards don't look to be in any sort of way trying to stop you. They're just... It sounds like they're just inquiring, just to see if you need any help or anything. But if
We're good, thank you.
Yeah, if you keep
Just
walking...
going out for a stroll.
Yeah. You guys follow this man for about a half an hour. He's just walking straight down the road, middle of the night.
Crap.
And then all of a sudden, he turns left.
What?
And starts to... Plot twist.
I didn't see
He turns
that coming.
left.
Holy shit.
He starts walking across the grass off the road, and you guys keep following him. And at some point, you notice that he's headed towards a cliff. And he keeps walking, and he keeps walking, and as he's walking, you see his form begin to change. His hair turning into tentacles, and you see his arms begin sprouting fin-like appendages. And he gets to the edge of that cliff, and he just does a dive off the cliff.
Fuck.
You guys get to the cliff, and you look down, and you see the ocean.
No splash.
You look down, and it's about 30 feet down from this cliff, and you get there just in time to see a splash. And
Big
then
splash, small splash.
Man-sized splash. The splash a man makes when diving into water.
How big of
I'll
a
give
man?
him an 8. Give him an 8.
Yeah, exactly.
7 plus.
A 6 foot tall man. Yeah.
This form could use some work.
For a few moments, you see his form swimming at surface level, and then you see what it looks like he does like a dolphin maneuver, and his feet go into the air, and he goes straight down into the water, and you lose sight of him.
Damn.
Hate dolphins.
They're not actually pasted everywhere.
Based in the ocean.
That was after taking a left.
That was after taking a left. Yep.
Write that down.
Took a left, then the ocean.
Well, that doesn't help us. I already knew they were fucking in the ocean. After I saw that guy's trail of psychic energy or whatever.
That's all they do in the ocean.
Lots of
So, I believe 2 of us could follow him. I have this.
A potion of water breathing. Yeah.
I think Tim has something too.
If we do end up going to the water, Tim is just going to basically just fall into the water, attempting to kill himself.
Oh no!
If that happens.
Yeah.
Everyone pull Tim back from the. We should not have gone anywhere near a cliff after Tim's existential crisis.
Tim's very fragile right now.
Yep. I'm gonna curse silently and then loudly. Like, well, yep, they come from the ocean, apparently.
Hopper says,
You
"Look,
did,
a
you
boat."
did tell him to report to his superiors, right? To report to the people that he reports to.
Yes.
So you can surmise from that they're not at all. There's no like headquarters on land for this organization.
Yeah,
Hopper
I
said-
didn't know if they had a base of operations in Neverwinter or anything that they were working out of.
Or at least none that he reports to.
Right.
Hopper points a little ways. Look, a boat.
Oh yeah, I do have the 2 glowing vials still. If anyone else wants to breathe underwater.
No.
Well, we can't have just half the party go down there with water breathing. And I don't know how far this fucking guy goes either.
Yeah, you surmise from your last encounter with these guys that they are fully like water creatures.
Water,
They can they breathe and live underwater. So
You'll be able to breathe between 1 and 4 hours.
exactly. How far can you follow him in 1 to 4 hours?
Yeah, that's a big problem. I do
Hopper
not
says,
know.
"Look behind these bushes. 5 sets of scuba gear." What?
You don't want to be. Yeah, you don't want to be down 3 hours in and be like, now we're at the halfway point.
Whoa.
All right, let's head back. Well, now we can ask about the K Society because that's the best information I got. Their group is called the K Society. Like to dress up as nobles, even though they're actually like psychic fish people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess,
Oh.
I don't know what. Yeah.
K-A-Y.
Right. K Jeweler Society.
Those evil bastards! I knew they came from the ocean.
Yeah. K Jewelers. They come from the ocean.
Ruled by fish people. That's where they get their precious gems.
That's right.
That seems racist somehow.
Our motto: we barter with the land folks. I mean, every kiss begins with K. It's
Yep.
better.
You guys walk the half hour back to the gates. And the guards yell at you as you come back in again. They're like, just an evening walk, huh? Welcome back.
I glare at them. They're not even
Says-
concerned that noble guy just walked out and is never going to return.
They don't seem concerned.
Alright.
You all walk back to Roaringhorn Estate. As you get close to the estate, you see people leaving. It appears as if the party is over. Or ending. I'll take you back into the hall. But, yeah, people are beginning to head out. It's pretty late in the evening at this point. And as you guys come in, Zelron approaches you quickly. He says, Where have you all been?
We were only gone like an hour.
You were gone during the speeches. I had to speak for you, tell everyone about your great deeds and whatnot. It was mildly embarrassing.
We had some leads we had to follow up on.
So that's
Sorry for your embarrassment.
Slight
embarrassment. That's rather disappointing, but I suppose...
Hey, we don't have a day off, man.
Well, despite your absence, the evening went decently well. People seem to be taken with your presence, if not with your behavior. He glances at you, Tim, in particular, when he says this. Says the Lady Alarand was rather shook, my good man. I don't know what you did to her. Says, but a deal is a deal, and I believe the evening went better than it would have without your presence. So come in, I'll give you what was promised.
Time for the orgy.
Yep.
The after feast.
You all pass by one room where some of the guests are putting on masks before they go in.
No.
What's going on in there? Ah, don't worry about that.
It's
That's
just
the
a scene
after.
from The Shining over there. Don't worry about that.
He just resigns himself and sighs heavily and puts on his mask.
Yeah, I have to go now. He leads you into his study. And he says, well, I suppose for the work you did this evening, I'll give you a choice. Any good adventuring party requires a base of operations, and a Roaringhorn base of operations is the best there is.
You give this bitch a lot, don't you?
He says, so, I present with you 2 items that will surely be invaluable to an adventuring party such as yourself. He first takes looks like a small wooden chest and plops it on the table. He says, if you have any intention or interest in traveling along the seas, this folding ship will do
Motherfucker, we could have used this 2 seconds ago.
Will do you wonders. At a mere word, this will turn into a canoe-like boat that can fit all 5 of you, I believe. It might be a little tight, but you have a halfling there. He doesn't quite count as a full person.
Oh.
You should slap him.
Watch it, bub.
Says, or at another spoken word, it becomes a full-masted ship. You might need a few more people to actually man it in that case.
What's the word for that one?
He says,
Make a giant ship appear in his room.
He says, well, you must attune to it first, dear boy. But the word, of course, is Roaringhorn.
Branding.
Branding
is on point.
And you notice on the he says, of course, the sails bear the Roaringhorn stamp. And he taps on the side of the box, and it's got looks like a logo of 2 trumpets crossed. He says, the Roaringhorn brand that's the sponsorship, you see. He says, or,
Dirty.
choice the second. Any good adventuring company needs a fortress. And he plops a steel box on the table. And he says, Roaringhorn's Instant Fortress will do you quite well in that regard.
Instant Fortress?
That's pretty badass.
He says, that's a word.
I thought he meant this mansion was a base of operation. He was going to give us a portable one.
He says, at a word, this steel box becomes a 20-foot by 20-foot tower with 2 levels, a rampart and a lower level. Walls made of adamantium. Not adamantium. Adamantine.
Wolverine's bow?
Adamantine is the metal.
Watch how fast it sinks.
Unbreakable, you say?
Unbreakable. I dare anyone to break it.
I will actually show you guys both of these things.
Sounds like you sell these.
Yeah, it does.
So, if this is branding in free advertisement form at this point, do they sell these boxes in various towns, or is he expecting people to come to their orgies?
That's probably what the underneath the thing it just says, like, Roaringhorn, come to our orgy.
$5 cover charge.
That's what we're gonna be. Yeah, we're gonna be blasting that everywhere.
He does
Best orgies this side of the river.
Or they're like different tiers of orgies. There's
you have
the
to buy
copper
in.
orgy,
Yeah, that's right. The premium.
the silver one, and the gold one.
Double platinum for me, please.
You get to earn that one.
That's
right.
The copper one is just filled with people that
people, just naked people
missing teeth.
awkwardly standing around. It's not a good time.
not the
All
best.
dudes.
This is the folding boat. You can read the description at the bottom. It's kind of long, but the long and the short of it is that you can turn it into either a canoe that holds 5 normal-sized people, or
10 half-sized people.
It can hold up to 4 medium creatures comfortably. 5 if one of you is a halfling.
Like everyone's looking at Halford.
Yeah.
In the other case, it becomes
Everyone is trying real hard not to land.
4 normal-sized people. Or it becomes a 24-foot long ship with a deck, rowing seats, 5 set of oars, a steering oar, an anchor, deck cabin.
Oh,
a full
are those
ship.
6 oars?
Yeah, 5 sets of oars. Oh, are they oars? I don't know.
What are the sticks in that picture?
I don't know. I don't know what those sticks are. Oh, they're the things that go in the canoe.
Yeah. Okay.
Despite what this picture shows, this is a magical item, not a
It looks like you just unfold it. It looks like the shittiest thing.
You just
It's just paper. It looks like a rug that you just unfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just,
It's
You're
worse
putting-
than IKEA.
an IKEA canoe.
It's like made of like that tent material.
Yeah. No, it is actually
That's
a
just
magic
canvas.
item.
Yeah.
It absorbs water immediately.
It just sinks. The other option is the instant fortress.
All right, now we're
million
talking.
times cooler. Are you kidding me? There's got fucking like gargoyles on there, griffins on top. Holy shit!
This
and-
fortress would destroy that canoe.
Immediately.
So yeah, the fortress becomes a 20-foot on a side, 30-foot high tower with arrow slits in all sides, battlement at the top. Has 2 levels on the inside. It also does damage if people are if enemies are standing in the area that it's expanding into when you say the word.
Yes.
Oh man, we use that as a trap. Lure somebody on top of it.
Use it like a grenade.
That's, I just threw a fortress at you. How much damage does that do?
I like that. Throw the box in the middle of like a giant combat thing. Corinne and I will just run up to the 2nd level. We'll just shoot spells off the top of the fortress.
It's a DC 15 dexterity saving throw. Otherwise, you take 10d10 bludgeoning damage.
That's amazing.
I'll act as the door.
So Rose,
It's like the fortress He-Man would live at if he had a fortress.
He says, it is, of course, emblazoned with the Roaringhorn symbol.
I'm sure we can paint over that.
We'll
Immediately.
lose our sponsorship.
He's not gonna know. We're never gonna see this guy again.
He doesn't know that.
What's stopping us from taking both of them from him?
Leaving him naked in a bathroom. It's kind of what we do.
Take off your clothes.
I thought you were supposed to be Batman.
Yeah, you guys are going to have some real alignment problems here in a second.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm chaotic neutral. I'm already. You never know
There
what
was-
the way
There
I'm
was
going.
a purpose. It was not just torture and bullying.
I mean, we got to take the fortress. If we need to go on water, we'll buy a fucking boat. That's not gonna be a problem.
Transform Tim into one.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll just sit on things
Sure
back
you
while
can
he
hold.
swims.
4 people.
3.5.
And despite actually what I said earlier, it does not actually require attunement.
Wait.
Do it right now. Do it right now.
Kill us all. Yeah, just so you're aware, you could
leaning
hurt
over it.
you could hurt yourselves with this.
But it'd be so badass.
We all murder each other.
Destroy
Spacing.
So Ron says, it seems you're quite taken with this instant fortress.
Hell
Shut
yeah.
up, Roaringhorn.
Yes, I think we're thinking about killing you right now with it.
How dexterous are you,
He
mister?
blanches a bit. Says, I thought you were the heroes. You were. I've heard
I'm
good
sure
things
you
about
committed
you.
a crime at some point. So
We're the GCC, wherever the fuck we want to be.
just toss the fortress over your shoulder. Just pull
Put
it
up
out and
shades.
You would probably destroy this house too if you just did that in the room.
All right, we'll take the fortress.
Okay.
Tim votes to deploy the fortress.
Test it.
We're not deploying the fortress.
Damn it. You're
How
my
big is
one
it when
hope.
it's? How big is it when it? Oh, 1 inch.
Yep. Well,
So
1 inch
1 inch.
metal
Okay.
cube.
It's super fucking tiny.
Yep.
You can put that in somebody's butthole and then say the same.
What? Why is that necessary?
Just explode. I mean, it would be that would not do 10d10 bludgeoning damage. That would do something else entirely.
The
So-
carnage
Yeah. And
would
there
be
would,
unbelievable.
if it was literally inside of a person, there would be no dexterity check. It would-
Dodge this, motherfucker!
Oh god.
All right.
Hey, Deep Sign, remember that suppository I gave you?
Uh-oh.
All right, you're taking the fortress.
You foolish DM, why did you give us such a toy?
That's right.
Every
Roar
encounter,
this motherfucker. Shoves his asshole.
every encounter will be us just trying to figure out a way to violently use our fortress.
How do
I
we,
just
how do we get our fortress inside of this person?
Inside of his butthole specifically.
All right, well that sounds like a good place to wrap this up. So thanks to our awesome players. Raymond is Halfred.
Oh, Lord.
Well, you guys are done with this in particular.
And how?
If you don't have anything else for Mr. Zelron, he doesn't after your discussion in the room. He doesn't really want anything else to do with you anyway.
Oh, I tell him not to release the
Fucking
halfling that's in his
yourselves.
bathroom.
What? Don't tell him we're involved with that.
you guys gonna real quick and have like the Neverwinter guard on your ass.
Seriously, we're gonna get arrested.
we'll just
So we
hide out in our
found-
fortress.
No, we're gonna tell him that we found a naked halfling in his bathroom.
And then locked him inside.
He started going crazy about people. He started yelling things like people are out to get him. He thinks the Zhentarim want to kill him, that they were coming for us. So we locked him in the bathroom for safekeeping. And whatever he says is a
We took
lie.
his clothes.
He was trying to strangle
Whatever.
himself with his own clothes, so we had to take
Yep. We had to take his clothes away.
He saved his life.
So
Great.
Don't believe his lies.
I would recommend getting like an acupuncturist or maybe like a shaman to cleanse him or something, help deal with his madness.
Okay. Zora just nods blankly. I don't know what's going on anymore.
But you really
Anyway.
don't want to let him out.
Anyway, here's some graham crackers. Thank you.
Excellent.
This should
All
pay
right.
for all our...
You guys leave the Roaringhorn estate. Instant fortress in hand. Yeah, we'll wrap this up shortly here, but before we do, you guys, what are you?
Who's holding the fortress? Who's
Yeah.
got the fortress?
Yeah. Who's in charge of that?
That's
I'm
Me.
not holding it.
I'm holding the fortress.
She is the least bloodthirsty of all of us.
somehow.
Ironic.
What I'm
Somehow
worried about.
the half demon is the least bloodthirsty.
We're all maniacally figuring out a way to kill people with it.
Yeah.
While y'all were
Just worried.
talking, I just kind of slipped it in my pack and was like,
They're saying people are the true enemy.
Humankind is the real monster.
So what is the word to pop open this fortress?
Roaringhorn is the word. But it can't.
Boom.
Can anybody say? Yeah, I don't know. What are the rules here?
Command word stuff.
What a hilarious prank. You're dead.
I don't
You
know.
just said
I
it
don't-
out loud.
If he's not attuned to it, how did it not constantly go off whenever he was just saying his name around it?
That's a good question.
It's
I
magic.
don't know what the rule is for command words.
You're the DM. Come up with a rule.
I'm just gonna say it's intention. Like you have to. I mean, it's sort of like it's magic. You have to intend to be opening the fortress.
Roaringhorn, that's our secret word of the day. Oh no.
somebody used the safe word.
And Mary's the one holding it.
Oh, she's not. Her ass went home.
Rices.
Oh, sorry, Bryce.
Mhm.
So you guys added a new place into Neverwinter.
Feral
Oh.
dog.
The Feral Hound. Right over here. In the Desiccated District.
Of course it is.
The desiccated district.
Desiccated.
I don't know that's what it's called. Yeah, so you guys have to decide how you're going to, if you're going to approach this place. You're
Oh,
fairly,
we're going.
you're fairly certain that this is where the Weevil is hiding out, based on what Miri and the halfling,
Naked halfling.
the naked halfling told you.
Let's go.
As Miri said, if you guys go there at night when they're open, there'll be a lot more people, but you might be able to sneak in easier. If you go during the day, there'll be less people, but they'll be on guard.
I don't know if we can sneak in, unless with Corinne's invisibility.
What's this clanking sound?
Did the halfling say what time he was going to be
About
in there?
midday.
Yeah, about midday. That's when they were expecting him.
If we put Halfred in that halfling's clothes, would he look close enough like that halfling?
Not on close inspection, but at a distance, maybe?
Okay.
Or would that be like putting Danny DeVito in Dr. J's?
They're generally the same size. They don't look a lot alike. They have the same color hair, but they don't look a lot alike. The scholarly dude was very nebbish looking. Is that a racist word?
Nebbish?
Yeah.
Evish? I don't know.
I think it means. Now that I'm
Like-
saying it out
like
loud, I think it means
turtly?
it means to look like a Jew. Is what I'm thinking it means.
I don't know what that word is.
Nebbish.
Nebbish?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a word.
I always thought of it as I
Nebbish.
need to look up the
We're gonna
definition.
Google
I thought it
it.
meant like just nerdy looking.
Me too, but for some reason I don't know why that pops in my head right now.
A person, especially a man, who is regarded as pitifully ineffectual, timid, or submissive.
Well, I hope it isn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't racist.
No, it's not racist.
It's also a township in Beltrami
I-
County, Minnesota.
You know why? I just looked. Yeah, I'm looking up to. You know why I thought it had something to do with a Jewish word? It's a Yiddish word.
Mm-hmm.
It's actual.
Please, lights.
Yeah.
Well, lots of words are Yiddish.
Yeah.
Oy vey.
So I'm going with it. He's more Nevish looking than Halfred is, but Halfred
All right.
might be
Albert,
able to pull it off.
you need to act Nevish, act pitiful and timid. Slink when you walk. Shuffle your feet and put
What
on
does it say?
this guy's clothes.
Yeah.
Woody Allen and George Costanza are the two examples most commonly cited descriptions of the word.
Okay.
Look, the word is especially associated with Nevish and Jewish.
What are you reading?
I'm reading about the word Nevish.
So you guys are deciding
I don't know
you're
if
going
it's
to go during the day and try to dress Halfred up as
A Nevish.
as a Nevish.
Well, put him in the clothes and just try to dress him in because we have disguised
Don't
magic,
hurt
but
me.
I can't change my size. Too big.
Ladies.
I can't change my size.
Why would you say it like that?
All right. Well, then I'm going to say that you guys, since it's late at night, you guys got a room and waited till midday the next day.
Yeah, because I think that's when he was expecting.
That's when he was expecting. So you guys travel down to the Feral Hound the next day.
Do we need to use Corinne's invisibility at all, or like what is the?
I'll let you guys approach the building, and you can decide what you want to do. So right now, you guys are down here.
We're also about a quarter till, so I don't know if you want to.
No, yeah, we're not going to go in. I just want to know
Okay.
what you guys are planning to do when what
Okay.
the strategy is. You guys, it's midday now. You guys are heading down the boardwalk towards this building, and you see a large stone building, or not, a large wooden building. Sorry. The front door is closed. There are windows here and here with curtains drawn. So yeah, well, I want to know what your plan is.
Visibility's probably good.
Yeah, our best plan. Halfred just goes in the front, tells. Is it locked? Is it closed?
The doors are
Are they
closed.
open for lunch.
The doors are closed. You know that they're, from what Mary told you, you know that they are closed during the day. They're not open for business. You don't know if these doors are locked or not, though.
Okay. So in theory, Halfred knocks on the door. They recognize him, or he says he's here to meet. Hopefully they didn't give
I'm
him
here
any-
with information.
Yeah, hopefully they didn't give him any passcode or something, but. And then we need to scout out the building and see if there's any entrances for us, or if not, the invisible people can maybe rush in with Halfred. And then.
Oh, I intimidated the hell out of that guy. If there was a passcode, he would have given it to me.
Yeah, I would hope. And then, we try and surround. Is this a pretty big building, or?
It does look like a big building. There's alleys along the side that you're at that go back here. Yeah. I will say that the last thing Mary told you before she left, just to remind you, is that
Something about burying the.
that it was odd that they buried the dog so close to the back door. And that
I want to check out the back door.
that was interesting.
It is interesting.
However, before you guys do any of that, we will save it for next week when you actually investigate the Feral Hound. For tonight, you guys completed the Zelron. What was it called? Zelron's Gala.
The Roaringhorn.
The Roaringhorn
Gala.
Gala. Yes, you completed that quest.
Secret word of the day.
Yeah.
Fortress.
And you got 4,000 experience. As that moves into the completed.
Yeah, 800 apiece. So,
Slightly more than last time. We have slowed way down our experience.
Oops.
You're a hermit.
22,655.
No. Must.
You're so close to leveling up.
So close.
I have a feeling we will level up
Right.
after the events here in
I
the.
got it. I got it.
That's a good
How much?
guess.
It's 800.
Yeah,
So that just becomes a 9.
I guess so.
But it,
Can you put in shells?
I will, yes.
Tim just starts spouting out information. Hermit.
Hey,
You're a
that's-
hermit.
Clerk.
You just did that on purpose.
All right. Thank you to Eric, Heather, Reese, Rochelle, and Raymond. I'm Chris. We're here doing D&D 5th Edition Storm King's Thunder every week. We will see you next time.
I wonder how much money Zelwarn raised.
You didn't ask.
Probably not much. We left in the middle.
You did leave in the middle.